Thank you very much, everybody.
Crypto Week brought big news for the sector. The US House of Representatives passed 3 key bills. The Clarity Act passed with strong support from both parties. The Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act squeezed through, and the Genius Act, the first federal law for stablecoins, is now headed to President Trump's desk for his signature. So, now that stablecoins are officially recognized, all eyes are on the Clarity Act, the most important crypto regulation bill in the US. Today, we'll explain what's inside the Clarity Act, how likely it is to become law, and what it could mean for the crypto market. My name is Guy, and you're watching the Coin Bureau. Now, before we start, remember, nothing in this video is financial advice. It's for education and entertainment only, and today we're diving into the Clarity Act. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and tap the notification bell. Okay, during what lawmakers called Crypto Week, the US House voted on several major crypto bills. As a result, the Clarity Act is now headed to the Senate. The Anti-CBDC bill barely made it through, and the Genius Act became law. This week of action is a major step towards finally creating clear rules for crypto, instead of leaving things to unpredictable court battles or agency crackdowns. For years, the crypto industry has operated in a grey area, unsure which regulator, the SEC or CFTC, calls the shots. And that confusion has caused big problems.
It's a big problem.
The Clarity Act aims to fix this by giving us a real framework for digital assets. But it didn't appear out of nowhere. It builds on earlier bills like FIT21, the Lummis-Gillibrand proposal, the DCCPA, and the Securities Clarity Act. Those efforts all failed, but helped highlight key issues. What's a security, what's a commodity, and how do we protect users? The Clarity Act pulls all of that together into one bill. It uses principles from the Securities Clarity Act, adds rules for decentralization and self-custody, and frames it all as a balanced approach to regulation and innovation. Strategically, lawmakers passed Clarity with a 294 to 134 vote, added the narrow anti-CBDC win, and pointed to the new Genius Act as proof they're getting things done. Supporters say this forms a clear roadmap, while critics, including consumer groups and some senators, worry about loopholes, weak protections, or vague decentralization standards. We'll dive deeper into all of those soon. But for now, it's clear that outside of stablecoins, the Clarity Act is getting wide support, both politically and, of course, from the crypto industry. It's now heading into the Senate, where it could be improved or watered down. Still, many in crypto believe it is a major milestone, a sign that the US could finally become, as President Trump put it, the, quote, crypto capital of the world. So what is the Clarity Act exactly? Well, it's a bill that defines digital assets, explains who regulates what, and sets up clear rules to replace the guesswork we've seen so far. It adds terms like digital asset, digital commodity, and mature blockchain system. More on that in a moment. Clarity also refers to the Genius Act for how stablecoins should be handled. And these definitions help create a new shared framework. If a token is tied to a centralized project, it's a security, regulated by the SEC. If it's part of a decentralized, mature blockchain, it becomes a commodity, regulated by the CFTC. Importantly, tokens can switch categories over time. If a project starts centralized, then it stays under SEC oversight. But once it meets the criteria for being mature and decentralized, it can shift to CFTC oversight. So here's a simple example. A project launches and shares all the necessary disclosures. While the team still controls the network, the token is a security. Later, they submit a certification. If the SEC doesn't object and the project meets maturity standards, it becomes a digital commodity. The SEC still handles fraud and securities offerings. The Act even sets sales limits up to $75 million over 12 months, as long as disclosures are made and the chain is expected to mature in 4 years. Then, once a token becomes a commodity, trading it doesn't trigger new securities rules, though fraud protections still apply. Of course, this is how the bill looks now. These details could change in the Senate. But the big idea is this. Tokens in decentralized, mature systems shift to CFTC oversight, while securities and centralized offerings stay with the SEC. This should cut down the confusion we've seen for years. And there's also a lot of built-in oversight. Congress and regulators will be tracking how crypto is used, including by foreign actors in DeFi, NFTs, and payments, to decide if more rules are needed. The bill sets standards for platforms too, like keeping customer assets separate, preventing fraud, and securing systems. This is a crypto-specific approach, not just copying rules from traditional markets. Now, some parts of the bill are still vague, however. For instance, a mature blockchain system is simply defined as one not controlled by a single person or group. That is not very detailed. The same goes for decentralized. Instead of a clear definition, the bill defines who counts as a control person, someone with 20% or more governance power who can unilaterally change the protocol. If a project doesn't have that kind of control person, it can be considered mature. But this leaves a lot of room for debate. People are already arguing over which metrics should matter. Validator count, voting turnout, stake concentration, all of which can be misleading. Now, hopefully, rulemaking will provide more concrete standards without stifling innovation. Still, the takeaway here is that the Clarity Act creates a pathway for a token to graduate to commodity status, complete with clear definitions and a system that can evolve. How smooth that path is will depend on how the Senate reshapes the bill in the coming weeks.
Well, hello there. I know you're enjoying the video immensely, but I just very quickly want to tell you about the Coin Bureau deals page. Now, if you're looking for some of the very best deals and promos in all of crypto, such as, for instance, up to $100,000 in sign-up bonuses and up to 60% in trading fee discounts on some of the top crypto exchanges out there, as well as insane discounts on hardware wallets and much more besides, then check out the Coin Bureau deals page in the description below. And now, back to the video.
As we mentioned earlier, the House gave the Clarity Act a strong 294 to 134 vote, while the Anti-CBDC bill barely passed 219 to 210. Now that contrast shows broad support for crypto market structure, but mixed feelings when it comes to government-issued digital currencies. In the Senate, the battle over definitions, rules, and protections now begins. Republicans like Tim Scott, Lummis, Haggerty, and Tillis support clearer roles for regulators, self-custody rights, and tailored rules for decentralized projects. On the Democratic side, senators like Elizabeth Warren want strong consumer protections, strict anti-money laundering rules, and to block public officials from profiting off of crypto. Senator Warren worries that big tech firms like Meta or Tesla could issue tokens to avoid regular SEC rules. Maxine Waters took it further, calling the bill a, quote, full-scale crypto con, and even nicknaming it the Calamity Act. She warned it could allow bad actors to slip through cracks in the law. And that gives us a good idea of what Senate edits might look like. Tighter rules for maturity and decentralization, stronger certification reviews, and more protections against fraud or abuse. Some have suggested combining the Anti-CBDC bill with Clarity, but its razor-thin vote margin makes that risky. A smaller amendment, asking for more transparency on digital dollar research and protecting wallet privacy, is more likely. Supporters of the Clarity Act say the bill offers exactly what the industry needs: clear rules, fewer grey areas, and more predictability. Combined with the Genius Act, they argue this will bring in institutions while protecting consumers. Clean definitions and strong stablecoin rules could give the green light to asset managers, banks, and builders alike. But the real fight is over where to draw the line. Too loose, and it's a free-for-all. Too tight, and it could kill innovation. So, will the Clarity Act actually become law? And if so, when? Right now, most Republicans are pushing for it, with a target of September, wanting clear roles for the SEC and CFTC, support for self-custody, and fair treatment for decentralized projects. Democrats, meanwhile, want tighter rules around investor protection, real-world asset tokenization, and stronger enforcement. But time is short. Congress is about to leave for its August break, and September is packed with budget talks. That means it's a race to get the bill debated and passed. Still, the White House is eager for another crypto win after the Genius Act. If things move quickly, we could see a Senate markup in September, tweaks to the bill, and a full Senate vote in Q4, with a final House vote soon after. There's also a chance things move faster and the bill hits the floor in September. But that depends on avoiding major arguments. If things stall, especially over the anti-CBDC add-ons or unclear definitions, then the whole process could get pushed into 2026. So, keep an eye out for a confirmed markup date, ongoing debate over the Fed's digital dollar, and how the Senate frames the Clarity Act in the wake of the Genius Act's passage. Now, with the Trump administration clearly pro-crypto, there's a good chance we'll see some version of the Clarity Act pass. But what could that mean for the crypto market? Well, if it passes in its current form, we might see a short-term price bump, but the bigger impact is in the long term. The bill ends the era of vague rules and SEC crackdowns. Institutional interest is already growing. A study by Ernst & Young and Coinbase found that regulatory clarity is the #1 driver of crypto adoption. With defined categories and guardrails, large investors and companies can finally get involved with confidence. The combo of the Genius Act and Clarity creates real infrastructure, not just for trading, but for payments, custody, and compliance. For crypto builders, the incentives shift too. Being decentralized and mature isn't just a point of pride anymore, it's a regulatory benefit. Now, of course, those qualities need to be provable, not just claimed. And that's the tension here: how to reward innovation while keeping the system safe. Around the world, others are moving fast. Europe's MiCA rules are live, and Asia is growing its frameworks too. With the US pushing a Bitcoin reserve strategy and now these bills, we're seeing a serious move to lead global crypto policy. There are trade-offs, of course. Smaller teams may struggle with compliance while bigger firms have the resources. And if the decentralization rules aren't clear, then some projects may fake it. Still, almost everyone agrees this bill is better than the legal chaos we've had in the past. And it's not about a quick 10% Bitcoin spike. It's about setting the stage for long-term growth. If the Clarity Act passes, it reduces uncertainty, keeps builders in the US, and opens the door for more institutional capital to flow in. Of course, that all depends on whether the Senate improves the bill or breaks it. We will be tracking how the Senate handles Clarity and the anti-CBDC debate, so if you want to stay up to date, make sure you subscribe. And if you're curious why so many people are against central bank digital currencies, then check out our video on that right here. Okay, that's it from me for today. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again soon. This is Guy, signing off.